Marietta College. $1,200 of your closest friends across 100 acres. This is home.
Coming up on WCMO NewsCenter 15, a Disney rescue 200 miles off the coast of Bermuda.
And the fourth and final supermoon of the year has arrived.
We'll also find out what the end of fall holds in store. Stay with us. WCMO NewsCenter 15 starts now. Hello and welcome to today's edition of WCMO NewsCenter 15. I'm Declan.
And I'm Caitlin. Topping our news today.
A Disney cruise ship has rescued 4 people stranded on a sinking catamaran over 200 miles from Bermuda. The crew of the Disney Treasure, en route from Europe to Florida for its maiden voyage, responded to a distress call on November 10th after the small boat Serenity began flooding due to a seal failure. Despite being 80 miles away, the Disney Treasure launched a small boat and successfully rescued all passengers. The ship's captain praised the crew for their quick and skilled response, ensuring the safety of those in peril.
Better catch this week's supermoon, as it will be a while until the next one. Astronomers announced this will be the year's fourth and final supermoon, looking bigger and brighter than usual. The moon will come within about 225,000 miles of Earth on Thursday, but won't reach its full lunar phase until Friday. Last month's supermoon was closer, making it the closest of the year, and even included a comet, while the one in September paired with the partial lunar eclipse. This week's supermoon will be the final one until next October.
It's another beautiful day here in Marietta.
But winter is just around the corner.
That's right, and Landon is here with the current conditions, so what's going on right now, Landon?
Well, Declan, thanks to the rather large downpour of rain we had this past Sunday, things have cooled down for us here in the Mid-Ohio Valley. In fact, right now, we've got some partly cloudy conditions with an expected high of 54. Right now, it kind of feels like about 47 outside. And as a result of the cloud coverage, we have a rather low UV index of 2, good air quality, and a rather low pollen count. And that'll no doubt get lower in the next few days. I'll explain why later. The winds will be running in no particular direction, around about 8 miles per hour. The humidity is roughly 63%, and again, over the next few days will be steadily rising. I'll explain why later. The sun rose today about 8 after 7 and should be setting about 12 after 5 this evening. As I said, we've got things going on relatively calm and cool, collected here in the Mid-Ohio Valley, and that will continue on in the next day or so. But as we get closer and closer to the weekend, we'll have a bit of a downpour before we cool down a little bit more. But I'll explain in more detail about that when I return later on for the 5-day forecast. Until then, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Landon. Fire crews on both coasts of the U.S. are battling wildfires, including one in New York and New Jersey that killed a parks employee. In Southern California, crews northwest of Los Angeles made progress Sunday against a fire that prompted thousands of residents to flee and destroyed more than 130 structures. New York authorities say they are investigating the death of an 18-year-old state parks employee who was fighting the Jennings Creek wildfire along the New Jersey and New York border when a tree fell on him this past Saturday. The firefighting effort has postponed Veterans Day plans in one New Jersey town where many of the personnel are veterans.
Donald Trump has secured a historic second term as U.S. president, thanks to narrow but widespread gains across the country. With votes still being counted, the tipping point for Trump came from key battleground states, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, where he flipped counties that had leaned Democrat in 2020. Trump's strength came in rural areas where he outperformed Kamala Harris, especially in Pennsylvania and Georgia, outside major cities. A notable shift was seen among Hispanic and Asian voters, with Trump gaining significant ground, especially in Nevada, where he tied Harris for the Hispanic vote. While Harris won urban centers, Trump's appeal on issues like immigration and the economy, as well as his push for change, helped him secure the 270 electoral votes needed.
And speaking of Trump, Trump's already receiving pardon requests ahead of the 2025 inauguration.
And a 50-year-old cold case finally solved.
Stay with us.
At Marietta College, teamwork goes beyond athletics. At Marietta, we promote individuality, creativity, and resilience. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, we are Pile Nation. This is the time, this is the place. We are pioneers. We are Marietta College.
Hey, this is Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, many of us feel anxious. Mindfulness can help you ease those feelings. My nonprofit is partnering with Headspace to offer free content to help you stress less. Head to kevinlovefund.org/headspace.
Here's to the straggly ones, the first ones. Hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones. And the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
In a case that has spanned 7 years, Richard Allen has been found guilty on all counts for the nationally known Delphi murder trial in Indiana. The jury convicted Allen of killing 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German in 2017. The case was cold after their deaths for nearly 5 years until Allen's arrest in 2022. The jury spent almost 19 hours deliberating and found him guilty on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of felony murder.
Puzzle lovers are enjoying the 50th anniversary of the Rubik's Cube. The cube was invented in 1974 by Hungarian inventor Erno Rubik. The renowned 3x3 square has confused millions and has sold 500 million toys for the last 5 decades. The cube can be found everywhere, especially in the hands of Rubik's lovers.
Authorities in Wisconsin say they've solved a 50-year-old cold case, thanks to genetic genealogy. 84-year-old John Miller was charged with first-degree murder in the killing of Mary Chalet. Chalet was an artist hitchhiking from Minneapolis to Chicago in 1974 when she was murdered in Dunn County, Wisconsin. Authorities there exhausted leads over the years, but they eventually turned to genetic genealogy experts at Ramapo College in New Jersey, who used DNA samples recovered from a stocking camp found at the scene, with the results leading them to Miller.
Former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder, serving a 20-year prison sentence for his role in a $60 million bribery scheme linked to a 2019 energy law, is seeking a pardon from President-elect Donald Trump. Householder's attorney plans to submit a request to the U.S. Justice Department before Trump's inauguration in 2025. Householder maintains his innocence and is appealing his conviction. While Trump has granted pardons and sentence reductions to several politicians in the past, it's uncertain if Householder will be granted the same relief. In addition to his federal conviction, Householder faces state charges for lying on ethics forms and illegally using campaign funds to cover legal fees from his federal trial.
Coming up, Honda and Acura engines under investigation.
And a Good Morning America surprise.
Also, what does Mother Nature have in store for us? We'll have our 5-day forecast for you after the break. Stay with us.
When kids need medical care, they face life-changing experiences. They miss out on the things that make being a kid fun. Starlight Children's Foundation programs entertain and inspire hospitalized kids. Learn more at starlight.org.
There's a place for everyone at Marietta College. Our place is here as esports competitors. This is Marietta College Esports.
Peter Scott, a former U.S. Army counterintelligence agent, now runs Fields for Valor, a farm in Brandywine, Maryland, dedicated to helping food-insecure veterans in the D.C. metro area. After serving in Afghanistan and Iraq, Scott struggled with combat PTSD and realized many fellow veterans face food insecurity. This led him to launch Fields for Valor, which has since provided food to over 500 veterans and their families. The farm grows fresh produce, harvests honey, and produces eggs, all of which are given to veterans. His mission is driven by a desire for redemption after his time in combat, and he hopes to continue helping as long as the need exists.
U.S. auto safety regulators are investigating complaints that engines can fail on as many as 1.4 million Honda and Acura vehicles. The probe by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration covers the 2016 through 2020 Honda Pilot and Acura MDX, as well as the 2018 through 2020 Honda Odyssey and Acura TLX. Also included is the 2017 through 2019 Honda Ridgeline. The agency says connecting rod bearings on vehicles with 3.5-liter V6 engines can fail, leading to complete engine failure. Honda recalled about 250,000 vehicles in 2023 to fix the same problem. The agency stated it has received 173 complaints from owners who reported bearing failures, yet their vehicles weren't included in the recall.
Amorion Smith, who's 21, became a legal guardian to his 4 younger siblings after their mother passed away from breast cancer. On Good Morning America, Smith, a college football player at Michigan State University, was surprised with a $40,000 check, a trip to Disneyland, and a new GMC Acadia. Smith promised his late mother he would care for his siblings, and despite his busy schedule, he has stepped up as their protector. His siblings admire his dedication, with his brother Armand saying Amorion always guides him in the right direction. Smith, deeply moved by the surprise, reflected on how his mother's spirit continues to inspire him and his family. It's time now for a look at Hollywood. One famous Kenyan regrets changing her accent for Hollywood.
Also, big honors for the director of the movie Wicked.
We got Lee with the Hollywood Minute.
Good afternoon, everyone. Lupita Nyong'o says her success in Hollywood came at a cost. The Oscar-winning actress says on Trevor Noah's podcast she decided while at Yale Drama School to lose her Kenyan accent and develop an American accent. Nyong'o says it felt like a betrayal, and she often cried herself to sleep. On the other side of the camera, film editors are honoring Jean Emu, the director of In the Heights, Crazy Rich Asians, and the upcoming Wicked is a year-aced Golden Eddie Filmmaker of the Year, who received his award January 18th at the 75th Annual Ace Eddie Awards in Los Angeles. And finally today, Sav Rogers explores the Kenyon Smith cult classic he says saves his life in Chasing Amy. The award-winning documentary brings the filmmaker face-to-face with the film's creator and stars. In the film's still controversial status for LGBTQ people, Chasing Amy opens in limited release this month. That's all I have from Hollywood for today. I'm Lee. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Lee. We can all agree fall is one of the prettiest seasons.
Yes, all the colors make for some beautiful scenes, but winter is quickly approaching.
Well, Landon is here with the details, so Landon, what can we expect from Mother Nature for the rest of this week?
Well, Declan, we can expect winter to not be here for about another month or so. That's just the way it rolls here in the Mid-Ohio Valley. But as we take a quick look at what's going on with the rest of the country, you can see that there's a bit of a snowstorm brewing in northern Utah and southern Idaho, and bouts of rain occurring between Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, and down south in New Orleans, Louisiana, and out east up towards Maine, teetering on the edge of the Canadian border over there. And yeah, as I've said several times in the previous weather segment, here in the regional area, things are pretty calm, cool, collected, no precipitation, no sleet, no hail, no snow of any kind, not even here in the Mid-Ohio Valley. But that's going to change in the next few days as we move on to the 5-day forecast. That piece we're experiencing today will continue on tomorrow as we experience a high of 59 and cloudy conditions into Wednesday. But Thursday, we're going to get yet another drastic downpour of rain, roughly 85% chance of rain. That's rather high, and result in cooling things down further with an expected high of 52. Continuing on, leveling off as we begin our weekend with cloudy conditions and an expected high of 55. Saturday, an expected high of 56 and additional cloudy conditions, and that will more or less continue on through the remainder of the weekend for the churchgoers on Sunday with an expected high of 56 and cloudy conditions as well. So today and tomorrow, things will be relatively calm. After a bout of rain on Thursday, things will be cooling down for the rest of the weekend. So things will be cool. If you've got things going on around and about on Thursday, make sure you take your umbrella with you. In particular, if you're on the campus of Marietta College, as we'll be holding our annual big workshop hosted by the Entrepreneurship Business Department. So the event will mostly be inside, but still bring your umbrella upon arriving to the event. And that's something we're all looking forward to. But until then, I'll see you later on at the end of the program. Until then, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Landon. When we come back, Jacob's got the latest on Pioneer basketball.
And a Sunday night football recap. See you in a few.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course.
He's reaching, but he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him.
Oh, the fridge.
Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs the water bottle.
Now he's just got to get out of there.
Look what dropped from the sky.
Don't do it, Dennis. That's the way you execute a Midnight Snack Run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Did you know that over 700 kids enter the foster care system every day?
$700?
700.
Just talking about foster care can help foster care.
Okay, let's try this.
Donate your small talk.
Guess who's back? We are. And now we got Jacob for a look at sports.
What's been happening in the world of sports?
The rundown now. Russell Wilson shook off his first interception in 11 months and hit trade deadline pickup Mike Williams for a 32-yard touchdown with less than 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter to lift the Pittsburgh Steelers to a 28-27 comeback victory over Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders coming off a bye. The AFC North leading Steelers won their fourth game in a row on Sunday to improve to 2-7-2 on the season and 3-0 since Wilson took over from Justin Fields as the starting QB. Wilson was 14 for 28 for 195 yards with 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Marietta College men's basketball opened their season with an impressive 118-72 victory over Mount Aloysius College this past Saturday. The Pioneers exploded for 11 three-pointers in the first half, leading to a commanding 61-31 halftime lead. Danny Flood, who came off the bench, led the charge with 5 of those threes, finishing the game with 17 points. Marietta maintained its dominance throughout, stretching the lead to as much as 50 points. Frank Wagenfeld led all players with 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. A total of 16 players scored for Marietta. Mount Aloysius was led by Devon Haggins, who finished with 13 points. Marietta returns to action next weekend for the Marietta Shrine Tournament. In her head coaching debut, Jenna Anderson led the Marietta College women's basketball team to a dominant 78-47 victory over Bethany College this past Saturday. The Pioneers, now 1-0, were propelled by strong performances from Paige Folson, who scored 18 points, and Hannah Croft, who added 9 points and 6 rebounds. Marietta built a commanding 47-16 halftime lead and never looked back. Despite a strong third-quarter push from Bethany, Lindsey Garrison led the Bison with 14 points as Bethany falls to 0-1 on the year. The Pioneer returned to action at home on Wednesday, November 13th against Mount St. Joseph. The Detroit Lions pulled off a stunning 26-23 win over the Houston Texans, despite Jared Goff throwing a career-high 5 interceptions, trailing 23-7. At halftime, Goff's 3 first-half picks seemed to loom the Lions, but the defense kept them in the game. Goff shook off the errors in the second half with Amon-Ra St. Brown scoring a touchdown and Jake Bates hitting a 58-yard field goal to tie the game with under 2 minutes. Bates nailed a 52-yard game-winning, securing the Lions' 8-1 record, with the victory showing that even on a bad day, Detroit is still a Super Bowl contender. That's all I have. I'm Jacob. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jacob. Now we're back at the desk, and we got Landon with us for a last look at the forecast.
Well, things are going to be pretty cool and calm and collected here in the Mid-Ohio Valley, with temperatures ranging from 60, averaging off to about 56 through the weekend through Sunday, with a slight cold spell coming through with that 84-85% chance of rain on Thursday. In terms of your earlier question as to when winter will be here, if the last several years are anything to go by, I would think it's safe to say that we're not going to be expecting snow-like conditions anytime soon, at least not within the next month or so. Our northern neighbors up in the northern areas of Ohio, like Cleveland or Dayton or Toledo, will probably get snow far before we do, since they're much closer to Lake Erie.
That's good to know. Well, that's all we had, and that's all the time we have today. For all of us here at WCMO NewsCenter 15, Marietta College Broadcasting, thanks again for joining us. You can catch us on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12:30 and 6:30 during most weeks of the semester, or you can search for WCMO Television on YouTube.com. See you next time. We hope you have a nice day.
Meet Candace. This senior basketball player loves to spend time hanging out before class with her best friend and education major, Shelby. Shelby knows the best place to study is at the Calapi Cafe, where she can compare notes with baseball player Ryan and get a great cup of coffee too. In the off-season, Ryan tries his best when he's shooting hoops with broadcasting major Gage in the Dyson Baudo Recreation Center, home of Fenton Court.